Hello again. Welcome to the Weed and Wrestling Podcast. I am your host, the Rebel Professor Ryan Barton Lash, the eccentric enigma, along with my co-host, Lanaya. And we're getting ready to review Monday Night Raw of March 24th of 2025 in Glasgow, Scotland.
So exciting.
Yeah. lot of different stuff happens on it. My notes are a little bit loose in certain parts here just because of my dislike of certain parts.
I just
But
like the fact it's in Scotland. Scotland is a gorgeous country, and I want to visit it so bad. So,
oh hell yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. No hate on the crowd at all. The crowd was ripping the
They are
entire show.
amazing. What is
Mhm.
wrong with American crowds that we can't like match it up like every other country in the world for WWE?
Well, for Europe, they have their own like. I mean, we have our own independent wrestling scene, but like Europe, they have like their like major independent wrestling scene, so where they're not really even independents in comparison. Like I always thought that the WWE kind of dropped the ball on getting rid of WWE NXT UK.
I mean, there's a lot of things I think about the NXT brand, but that's an entire different show.
Entire different
Yeah,
show.
because
Entire different show.
my
But
opinion on
just
that would take an
my
entire
love
show.
for Europe, I think for them it's much more of a treat to actually see WWE, because for us it's a lot more regular.
Well, then, I never thought of that. I really should have.
Yeah, but yeah, outside of that, we'll get rolling here. They kicked off the show with good old John Cena, cutting a promo, there.
He sucks.
Uh,
The chance
yeah.
Cena sucks on top of the fact that he sucks. I love that.
Oh yeah,
Love to hear it.
this was the first time that really he came out to like full on John Cena
Yeah,
sucks
it was aggressive. I loved
with
it.
his theme. Yeah, Glasgow, looking out. Yeah, and just they we talked last episode about already how we feel about the John Cena turn just being stupid and unnecessary. I say this one was a little bit better than last week's.
I mean, yeah. It still sucks because it's him though, but definitely better than last week. What that?
Yeah, I think he hit more points.
He actually
Also,
had
I think
points.
yeah, he actually had points this time. Didn't sound like a crying girlfriend. He was sounding a little bit like, that's the thing is I kind of felt that like him coming into like a heel role like this, I didn't think he was going to come off so whiny and so vindictive. I felt that he was gonna come in just cocky. Like I would have much rather seen a very cocky John Cena.
I agree. I'm not a John Cena fan, but I think it'd been a lot better if they just would have given that whole like that attitude, like that Stone Cold had or The Rock, just the arrogance.
Yeah, there is a lack of arrogance. He channeled it a little bit more in this when he was like, I know more about you than you do me, and this is the best that you will get because all you get, you're rats in a cage. Like I thought that was about the like most taking part of that. Biggest part, the kid from last week's show that he calls out.
Yeah.
The kid from last week's show, him and his dad need a free ticket to WrestleMania.
They do. I mean, like, if they don't get one,
That kid deserves it. That
yeah.
kid fucking deserves it.
Especially because he's basically a meme now. Like, come on.
Yeah, you have just made this child who like he didn't even look like that like seriously disappointed.
Yeah, he was like,
Like
whatever.
yeah, he didn't. Yeah, but the fact that John brought him up, I did like that a lot, and I'm just like, you know what, that kid deserves to be brought up. That kid is great. I think if anything, he needs a ticket to WrestleMania, and I hope Cody beats John, and that kid can like be down front row and like just flip off John Cena.
Yeah, please. That everyone needs to do that. Just
Bring that kid into WrestleMania, have him there for it, or or if John does win, have him there to like chew out the kid down at Reese.
and then get beat up by Gunther.
Yeah,
Why
yeah,
not?
yeah. Yeah, Gunther for no reason come out with the sleeper.
Because I mean, hell, do it anyway.
Just he's just lurking around any corner, just ready to pop a sleeper. He'd been cutting good promos, but we know what we want him for now.
Yeah, totally. Or
He was doing
sleepers.
some good promos there. Now we just want him for sleeper holds
Or
and beating up
sleepers all the
Jay
way,
Uso.
all the time, Gunther, get in there.
Yeah. Bobby the Brain Heenan is rolling over in his grave, loving it every time. But yeah. Then he brings up the spinner belt and how everybody hated it. Well, yeah, because it sucked.
I still hate it. I hate
Yeah,
all versions of it. I think it's dumb. I don't understand why anyone ever wants to talk about it ever again. We shouldn't talk about it like we don't talk about Bruno. Please don't sue us, Disney.
yeah, yeah. And and yeah, and then he brings up that he's gonna win the championship. He's gonna beat my man Ric Flair's record, which the fact that he brings up Rick there, already my boy Nature Boy did shots with him at WrestleMania. It was awesome. I still don't know who ended up paying for those shots
I mean,
because it wasn't me. It
that's all that
wasn't me,
matters in
and I
the
didn't
end.
see Rick pull out a card or any cash. But
Did he go behind the bar and pour it himself?
no, no. So what happened is like, so at WrestleMania, there like they across the street from the stadiums, there's a grouping of bars, and and they had a bunch of like WWE wrestlers down there, doing signings and like meet and greets and stuff. And Rick had just gotten done a meet and greet, and I was kind of at the like last bar, like right before you exit out, because it kind of like you enter one way and then exit out the other way. And I was at the exit bar, and Rick had just gotten done like a meet and greet, and he came right over to that bar, and I just happened to be the only person at that bar.
Exciting.
And I was like, Rick fucking Flair, woo! And he's like, woo! Hey, buddy, you didn't have to pay for my time. I was like, well, I'd be remiss if I didn't do shots with the great one. He was like, son, what are we drinking? I was like, I'm feeling some tequila. I knew I was talking to the right man. Barkeep, tequila.
Tequila.
And 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 so he puts up a couple shots for me and Rick, and he's like, son, I want you to line up another 3 shots behind that man's shot, and I want you to line up another 3 shots behind mine.
And
Do you understand?
that's just a
It's like,
dangerous night.
yes, sir. He just goes, yes, sir. And he does that. And I stood there and I went shot to shot with Ric Flair and was talking about the weekend. And I told him about how if I wanted to get into the business, I'd want to be a manager.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to go by the Rebel Professor, Ryan Barton Lash, the eccentric enigma. And that's my podcast host name. And he called it out how smart he was to be like, so your name's Ryan Barton Lash, and the eccentric enigma, you put the E's in there, that spells rebel. And you're a professor enough to figure that out. I was like, Oh, fuck. Yeah, that's exactly why I do that. He's like, son, that'll work. That'll work. I was like, really? You think so? He's like, son, go find yourself an independent wrestling organization there. Find some guys that can wrestle but can't fucking talk. And
I
go
mean,
talk for them.
everybody needs help,
You
something, you know?
He's like, I'm like, shit. I was like, well, I used to sell Kirby vacuums, and he laughed, and he was like, son, if you could sell Kirby vacuums, you could sell some goddamn wrestlers, that's for sure.
Yeah, Kirby.
And so then right after he said that, his bodyguard came over and said, hey, Rick, I think you're about to get swarmed. We need to get out of here.
No.
And yeah, and he gave me a quick hug, and told me to enjoy the weekend. And I was like, fuck yeah.
That's
And I
exciting.
still don't know. He didn't put up any card or cash there. He had just walked over to that bar.
I mean,
I had closed.
it's
I had paid for
Mania,
my last
Ric
beer
Flair.
that I had right there with cash. So I don't know who paid for those 8 shots.
I mean, I'm sure. I mean, it's Ric Flair and it's WrestleMania weekend. It's Ric
Yeah,
Flair. Like,
I
this
think he just has carte blanche.
bar just has to say, "Oh, Ric Flair just left. This is what he drank." Boom! It pays for itself. You know,
Yeah,
marketing's everything.
probably. He probably had an open tab. Everywhere.
Everybody say
I
everywhere.
mean,
Just a limb behind the bar. Anyway, let's get to it. Let's get to this.
yeah. Sorry, enough about Rick.
Not for real.
But yeah, he brought up Rick and beating his thing, and yeah, and how he's gonna go home with the championship,
Rick's gonna say
and
things.
he's gonna be the last real champion of the WWE. He's gonna retire it. Yep.
I mean, the Rick's gonna say my name forever. I'm just like, first of all, you went from ex-boyfriend to questionable now. Stop talking. That's where it ended for him. Like, and that's it.
Toxic ex-boyfriend.
That might be why you're so emotional.
and just don't get it.
I wanted aggression. You know, if you're gonna
Yeah.
be a heel, like that's
Yeah.
great. Let's write it all the way in. What are you doing? Why? I don't want you staring into a camera, pouting every time you're on here. That's just John Cena. That's all that is. So you could have just
Yeah.
done that a decade ago, or not do this now. I don't know.
Yeah. And it's all because The Rock came in at last minute here and was like, I want to do something.
And his vest was
like
hideous.
Like that's the whole setup, because they didn't even do it till the night of. Like, John didn't even know till the night of that he was going to do it, because they were still trying to bank on Cody maybe actually doing it.
I mean, I don't know.
And that's who The Rock originally wanted. And he wanted Cody to turn into a bad guy, but I thankfully in a way, because I think it would have been dumb the way that they set it up anyways.
I want
to turn Cody heel that way. I feel if Cody's gonna turn heel, I feel it better than just selling his soul to The Rock.
Yeah, that whole concept is stupid to me, and I do want
It's
to go heel
stupid.
so bad, but not. You guys are just the Travis Scott and the ugly vest, and I know. I want to be smoother than that. You respect Dusty Rhodes, goddammit.
Yeah, because when Cody turns heel, he's like his brother, he's like his dad, he's methodical when he does shit, and that was the better part of this whole promo, is when Cody came out, again, and he talked some good, and he talked it quick and short, and it was good.
The short part was the best.
And that's the thing, is I do want Cody to turn heel eventually, and really I kind of want him to turn heel, and I think if there would be any kind of way of an NWO or a version of to come back, or something. It's something to the equivalence of that. I feel like he could lead a faction. You know, and but you know, think it out and make it good. You know,
Yeah.
if it works,
And right
but
now,
better than selling your soul.
we think about him turning heel and where he exists.
Yeah,
It's nothing's gonna move fast enough. The fucking Judgment Day is still a thing. So, I mean, it just doesn't move fast enough to me seeing another faction grow enough to accommodate that. So I want to see him turn heel, like in this area, in this zone. Maybe by brutally beating up John Cena. Just suggestions.
I mean, I guess that's a way to bring John back to a face and make Cody a heel is by just like having Cody just like go nuts.
Yeah,
Um,
brutality.
and just like losing it, becoming unhinged. That would be pretty cool, actually, too.
Or have
Um,
like Cena say something that, makes him bug out, or, just something. I don't know. But I don't want to see Cena into the heel because this is just a horrible, horrible turn. Horrible turn. So I just want
yeah,
to end in a pretty gorgeous way. And I think the only way to really end it in a nice way is have Cody end it as a heel. In my opinion. They could do something long, drawn out, and horrible, which they probably will do. My way's better.
yeah, yeah. I just hope it. I don't know where they're going with it. Part of me feels that they don't know where they're going with it. I don't know. We'll have to see.
I don't think anyone knows what's going on. I really think they're making up like day by day, not even week by week, honestly. Let's
Yeah,
let's check online, see how people are feeling. 'Cause I see a lot of like things online. I see that getting fed into a lot of storylines also. So yeah.
yeah, yeah. But yeah, outside of that, get get a get the ad drops and stuff like that, and then come back and we got they tried to make it as a mystery partner and stuff, and of course it was Jimmy. You know,
Tag team them again, which you can obviously see, but
apparently the rumor mill going up to this was that the mystery partner was going to be Joe Hendrick.
oh,
That was going around the rumor mill because it's Glasgow, Scotland, because they
uh,
got the TNA working relationship and he's champion right now.
yep, that makes total sense. But it
Yeah,
doesn't make sense.
that would have been much cooler.
It would have been
That would have been much cooler.
exactly. It doesn't make sense. WWE doesn't do cooler. They just do recycled bullshit.
Yeah. Um, but and that's not to say that Jimmy ain't cool and the way he came ripping out there just during it. I mean, I got much love for Jimmy Uso.
I love him.
Um,
I think it's awesome and
y-
amazing.
yeah. But I don't have too many notes because this was a match also slightly victimized by ad breaks. Um, you kind of tell that some of the match went on during like there was the first ad break of during the entrance, and then it comes back to him starting, and then there's another ad break, and then you can kind of tell a good bit of the match has gone on there. But still, the match was pretty practical. Like they didn't do anything that I didn't expect them to do.
Yeah. Um, this was my snack break match, so like I saw a little of the beginning and kind of the end, but I wasn't gonna say it. I wasn't gonna say it. I wasn't gonna say it. But I walked in, I was like, "Oh, Gunther isn't there yet."
Yeah. Um. Yeah. They finish with 1D. Um. Which I've always had issue with the fact that they call it the 1D, and really it's the 3D.
I don't know.
It's the 3D. Like I get it. like I get it. They need to make it their own, but if you know, if you really know, you really know. And and that honestly, that's a tag matchup. I don't know if that ever happened. Did it? Did the Dudleys ever end up facing the Usos?
No.
I don't think so.
Well,
Because the Dudleys did come back for that like slight little stint
yeah, the
in like
Legends thing.
2015, 2016.
It was cute.
So there is a possibility they could have. Um, but
I don't
still,
think it
that I'm diverging from the match. Gunther, comes out. Um, Jay doesn't get super sleeper this time. He kind of beats crap out of him.
Yeah, but I'm so why? And like again, when I saw it come out, I was just like, if people are expecting it, don't do
Oh
it.
yeah, don't do
It's
it.
because
And then he slipped up on the spear, which I think is intentional because they bring it back up.
a couple of times, yeah.
Yeah, so I think the slip up was intentional. Just because of the way it was brought up and done. It seems like that was the way that they planned it, which is interesting, different, you know. But still, it doesn't foul up with people's sentiment that Jay that Jay isn't all there, all the way there yet to be a world champion.
I
Um,
mean,
but I guess that's what they keep on steering into there. So
yeah, that's diversion. He's amazing. Oh, I hope,
he's amazing,
I hope.
but he's one of you. He makes mistakes too.
Yeah, like that type of thing.
Yeah, but after that, get super lame Judgment Day promo. Um, then we get ad drops, and then we get the El Grande Americano vignette.
Mhm. You right about that? Okay, yes, I did write about that.
Yeah, um, yeah, the El Grande Americano vignette there. I thought it was pretty great. Apparently, it's caught a lot of flack online. Number one for obviously trying insulting towards Mexican heritage
I mean,
libre. But it's a heel fake up promo. Like I like that. I kind of didn't understand why it was catching slack. Like especially when they're like from the Gulf of America.
and yeah, exactly. That's part of the reason you can't act Mexican while calling it something that's completely made up by someone who doesn't have the right to make that up. Anyway, but you know
Yeah.
what? Here's the thing with me in WWE. They've always been a little racist. Every,
Oh
every
yeah.
everything they do, I just expect them to sprinkle in that extra little bit that makes me go, "Yep, you didn't change, assholes." So I think
The Street Profits just stopped coming out with solo cups a couple months ago.
exactly.
you know?
They're a little stereotypical. They have to be. Why? Because they think that's over the edge. Although society has shifted a lot since the '80s and '90s and even early 2000s. But that's just how WWE is. Yeah, of course it is. Of course it was, because that's what
Yeah.
WWE does. So, and I don't know why people need to argue that online. I think it's this.
Yeah.
It's that. No, it's not. Yeah, it's a little racist. So that's what WWE does. And we're all gonna be
And and the way that they're doing it too, like obviously this wrestler is Mexican.
or
Um
of his
so
heritage.
yeah, so but I just kind of love the way that they're setting it up of just that he's the Spanish version of Chad Gable.
I mean, If they do that for too long, I'm just gonna lose interest.
Oh yeah, they can only write it for so long, but luckily enough, and we'll get to his match a little bit later on. There, his match was really good. But the other reason why the vignette caught flack is because they use AI. They use AI art and stuff in it, and it's like, well, yeah. I mean, they could Photoshop some stuff, sure, and you would know it's Photoshop, but it honestly, this isn't Hollywood, it's WWE.
And they can hire artists. Like I understand what
They,
people are mad about that. They can hire real artists. And
they could hire real artists, yeah.
AI is just stealing from like already established art anyway. Just hire real artists and avoid it altogether. And the problem is TKO. They should know that already. You know. Mm.
Yeah, corporate overlords, but
They thinking cheaper. Meanwhile, people are thinking, I want to see more people, and they clash because that's what life does, I guess. Whatever.
yeah, yeah,
I
but
understand why people are mad. Also, we understand that things are changing, that you're going to see more of that everywhere all the time.
yeah, yeah.
It's
I like the vignette, and then right after that, there's a little promo segment to set up El Grande Americano's match with Dragon Lee later on. Then we get to Lyra Valkyria versus Raquel Rodriguez for the Intercontinental title.
and then you have Liv there.
Oh yeah, well of course with Liv, she's got to come. That's her bestie.
Yeah, I'm damn sick of that too. But
That's the thing is I also kind of look at it too. If like just 2 years ago, these two were like the primo babyface girls
yep, yep, yep.
uh, uh, of the brand, and and now they're playing heels and they're doing really good at it, honestly.
Yeah, they are.
So especially the match is just coming up right in front of me, and the way Liv skips in the ring,
I like that. I like
like holding up the title.
I like that. Mm.
She's adorable.
Yeah, it's on that adorable look thing.
Yeah. And then got old Lyra coming out, and my first note is Lyra is almost perfect, like in every way.
I mean,
I would love to marry that woman, but she's engaged.
oh, okay. Well, there's someone out there for everybody.
Oh yeah, no, I'm that's that's just me fanboying over her. But no, she's so great in her presentation and in her matches and stuff.
Yeah.
That's why I'm like, she's just almost perfect. She will be a world champion one day for sure.
I constantly think that I want to see her move along quicker, like along the women's rate. I just think, like, and something, she has something about the way she presents herself that I just love. I think they need more of like characters like her.
Yeah,
Mystique,
that they're real and just passionate and
yeah,
really fucking good in the ring.
yeah, and on top of that, well, everything else was just aesthetically, but she's amazing in the ring, you know,
Yeah.
and she's really
And that's why I'm fine with her. I'm fine with her and Chelsea Green holding on to these titles here for a while and giving it that prestige, and making it the workers' belts that they are supposed to be, especially with Lyra. I mean, she is pretty much out wrestling every single week, and she's putting on pretty much the best match on the show every single week.
Yeah, she's good. She's very good. Again, I'm gonna go by her technique isn't sloppy. I watch for that very closely, intently, and I see a lot less from her than a lot of other women that are higher ranked than her right now. So yeah,
Hmm. Yeah. The the match only goes for so long, so I only have like a handful of notes. Um, it also, and that's also because they both did the match well. Um, they went through the right paces with everything. Um, and I know Lyra at one point. I have a note of it that she does the first 48, but they don't call it the first 48 because when she does it, I'm like, that's Carmella Hayes' move, and they're like, flying leg drop on the back of her neck from the top rope. And I was like, yeah, that's Carmella Hayes' move. he did.
so
She did the first
I
48.
would sometimes I ignore them because they're just sometimes their announcing isn't on for me. I'm just like, okay, I'm gonna ignore you now. Say one thing dumb, see because it's not funny.
It, and that's another thing too is if somebody does somebody else's move, and especially if they're of another gender, it's cool to call out that move.
Yeah,
Like if I was doing the announcing, I'd be like, "Oh, looks like Lyra just pulled one from Hayes' first 48 on the back of her neck."
yeah,
Like
but they
that's what I would have done.
Well, if you have a close comparison between male and female, you can't do that.
Yeah. Ooh. And I just saw it because the standard wise, I'm up there in the match, and it was a note that I had on there to where Lyra jumps out of the air and Raquel just gives her this big midair boot right when it cuts to ads. Oh my god. Um, Raquel, she's got that powerhouse roll down.
She
She
definitely
is.
does, but more personality, more personality.
Yeah, and that comes with Judgment Day having a breakup here shortly, which we'll get to that a little bit more later on here. Um, during the Braun Breaker versus Penta match, top that. But yeah, she pulls that first 48, but then yeah, she finishes with a Tahana bomb, and then Liv attacks on her after that, and then Bailey comes out and attacks with her. So I'm assuming that's gonna set up a tag team match probably between the four of them
Yep,
here.
through the four-way.
Uh, can't be a four. They're the tag team champions, so it has to be a tag team match.
But still, you know,
Yeah, can't keep on having four ways and three ways is everything. WWE, come on now.
for this WrestleMania, it definitely seems to be.
Yeah, yeah. Which again, that'll come back a little bit later with what I'll talk about. But then we get a Jay and Jimmy promo after that match, which I gave that match by the way a 5. I gave it a 5. I thought it did what it needed to do.
Yeah, it. I mean, but it did what it needed to do, but it could have done without it. So I give it a 4.
Fair enough. Um, yeah, we get Jay and Jimmy promo right afterwards. I thought it was pretty good promo there of them just talking and Jay talking about everybody doubting him, and Jimmy being like, "That's not who we need. We need main event Jay Uso. Come on now." Like, yeah, I thought that was really good. And then afterwards, the Gunther the Gunther slap. And when Gunther comes up and talks some shit to him,
When
and
Jimmy
he
slapped
slaps the
Gunther,
shit.
I was actually shocked and I was so happy. Like I got literally happy and I don't know why. Maybe because in my head I was like, here's another sleeper hold.
How is this gonna turn into a sleeper?
So yeah, but that awesome
Um,
slap, you can hear that slap. That was a nice slap, you hear it.
I gave Jay and Jimmy's promo together 6. But I gave Jimmy slap a 10.
That's
That was life changing.
promo. 6 is yeah. It's Edge and Foreigner, but definitely 10 for that slap. It echoed down the hall.
Yeah, yeah. Way to go, Jimmy. You impressed me. Jimmy impresses me every week with something, and this week it was
Yeah,
that slap.
yeah.
Last week it was with him. It was with him goofing on his brother when his brother like paused and said "fuck" during the thing, and he goes "ooh, ooh."
That's cute.
Yeah, every week Jimmy's got something that I gotta laugh about, and something I gotta love about. But past that, I marked down Adam Pearce's promo, um, about Rhea Ripley not being in the match for WrestleMania, and that Io and her are gonna go at it again next week, and how Io does not give a fuck.
Yeah, I like that. At least you're
Yeah,
something with the making it somewhat exciting, hopefully. Hope.
yeah. Um, which it was great the way he delivered that promo, and the way it just came up, and the way Io was just like, Io does not give up.
Well, I think it should be a good match, the three of them, even though she says it's.
That's the thing that gets set up out of it too, is that Bianca's gonna be the special guest ref,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and so right there, that kind of leaves it to where they could still set it up for the triple threat by both of them having their shoulders down and her counting the pin.
Well, yeah. Well, they're all gonna.
And that's probably how it's going to happen, but it better be a good goddamn match, all right?
I mean,
But
I don't know. I don't know if it's gonna be a good match. I hope it's a good match. They're all very talented, so let's see what happens. It's a
yeah,
month,
yeah,
less than a month to WrestleMania.
yeah,
We're so excited. Okay, so yeah.
yeah. So from there, we got Dragon Lee versus El Grande Americano. El Grande Americano's premiere on here. One thing I have to say about Dragon Lee is about him and Penta. They are, if you notice, they are the two luchadors that just came in within the last year, and right when Dragon Lee was on, every time he came on, before he joined the LWO, they were saying, "Oh, he's the next Rey Mysterio. He's the next Rey Mysterio. He's the next Rey Mysterio." And Penta, like how we talked about him before, how he said, "I don't want to be the next Rey Mysterio. I want to be Penta."
Yeah,
And
should be.
it's how much better he's come through to where we get Dragon Lee versus the new luchador,
Mm-hmm.
whereas Penta is going for an Intercontinental Championship match this night, and he's only been there a couple months.
I mean, like I
Like,
said before,
the push,
with Rey Mysterio, they have to stop dragging that old man out. Give him some time to rest. Like, get the younger wrestlers that can stabilize it because they're really talented, and he deserves to rest.
they are, and they need to establish a personality for themselves outside of LWO.
And not just
Um,
yours. Come on. They're
yeah,
wrestlers. Now they're in WWE. They have a lot to prove. Let them prove it.
yeah, yeah, and they are kind of stuck right now to where it's like we're seeing Ray and Dragon Lee go into tag matches, but the other two guys in LWO, they're not getting used.
At all. They're
You know,
disappearing. They're doing that fading thing.
you know, have them and actually like go out and like I don't know, just the dragging on with the LWO. It's weird, but this match was really good though.
Yeah. Yeah, it was really, really good. It was steady, wasn't sloppy.
Yeah. My very first note on it is El Grande is shredded.
Oh my god,
That dude.
I didn't
Woo!
get that.
That dude, that dude, that is like some washboard abs. That's like stuff you can grate cheese on. Like, goddamn,
Yes. Yep.
that man is physically fit.
I didn't expect it at
Uh,
all, and like I mean, I was pleasantly surprised and very happy, but not what I expected at all.
yeah, yeah. And that's the thing is he had his shirt on the last like time that he came in, but like shirt off. Like, geez, boy, you've been working.
Yeah,
Dang. Um. So I only have one like big note on this match because they did so much in that match that I couldn't even like really write it out.
um,
That like that it's like, okay, side spin Hurricane Rana from here to, okay, they're whipping into the ropes now. Okay, like they just moved at such a good fast pace like the whole match that I couldn't really just even bother keeping notes on it because I'm just like, if I'm gonna bother trying to write about a move, they're gonna do another one that's gonna be really good right afterwards. They were just nailing it.
I did right. The fall that both guys took, after the suplex off the apron, I thought they both got hurt for a second.
Oh yeah,
And like it concerned me enough to write it down, and I was just like, yeah, ooh,
yeah. The one thing that Dragon Lee did that was yeah, that had me write it down. He did that Tree of Woe stomp to the outside where he had El Grande hanging over the ropes to the outside, and then he does a flying stomp on his face to the outside. That looked brutal.
yeah, it looked actually brutal.
Yeah, that looked brutal.
Good.
That was like the move of the match for me there, to where I was just like, oh fuck, okay, Dragon Lee, I see you. Okay, you scare me now. Like I thought you were really good, but goddamn, you scare me now.
Messages are proven.
Yeah. All right. You have proven yourself. You scare me. But yeah, El Grande Americano coming out there with the win on that. Just really really good match. I gave it a 7.5.
Yeah, I actually gave it 8.5. It's the best one I saw up to that point, and the best match I've seen in a couple of weeks from WWE, actually.
Yeah,
So I gave it, yeah, 8.5. I liked it. Everyone
yeah.
liked it, and I was really shocked at his abs. Like, so those alone just had me sitting there like, whoa, and then his abs. And
That earned a point.
so
The Mavs earned a point. Um, yeah, fantastic fucking match. Fantastic. Then we get CM Punk coming out and cutting a promo. Um, very Pepsi Phil promo. Wasn't I didn't have many notes about it. Wasn't the best CM Punk, but it wasn't the worst. So I just gave the promo a 5
I, just-
because I'm just like, I Phil did what he needed to do.
I ignored it. I was like, I don't want to hear CM Punk talk right now, so I did everything else. So I gave it whatever, a 0 because I wasn't listening.
Fair enough. Um, then we get Braun Breaker cutting a promo, and good, short, sweet promo. Said what he needed to say and got out of it. I gave that promo a 5. I was just like, cool, cut those kind of promos all the time.
Yeah, I missed that one. I was ignoring the other one. I came back in like shit.
Yeah, it was good, short, and basic. But it was very Braun, and like he cut the kind of promo that a lot of people should be fucking cutting.
It's great that he's so new, but has that thing on the mic already. Where it's his thing. Like you just said, it's awesome. That's what you want. I love it.
Yeah, yeah, he's got that mic presence already. He's just got presence in every way.
He can ride
Um,
the Steiner name.
yeah. My dream match of right now, and luckily, they're able to keep it apart for now, because they're on different rosters. But I want Braun Breaker versus Jacob Fatu.
I
I
want
want
it
that
so
match.
bad. I just
I
can't be done.
want that.
I don't understand why they would not have that match.
Well, honestly, let them build up on their own. Um, which this following on Jacob Fatu and stuff. If there's one person that's gonna dethrone LA Knight from the United States title, I'd be fine with it, more than fine with it being Jacob Fatu. I want him to rip around as a champ there for a bit. Let those two get it in right now, and then once they're on brand with each other, then that's when we get that'll end up being a rivalry that'll last for
I
years.
mean, that'd be a great way to build it up, but I just want to see it.
Yeah, yeah. I know. Yeah, I know. We'll get it. We'll get it when we deserve it, because that is my dream match of the entire roster on WWE right now. Jacob Fatu and Braun Breaker. Let the dog and the werewolf go at it, please.
Well, that's just two dogs.
But but yeah, he cut that promo there right before the match, and I didn't have too many notes on it because they were doing good. They were doing very good, everything that they should do, and then Judgment Day came
Why is Carlito
out.
still there?
Why is Carlito still
I'm
there?
just like, every time I see him, like, this poor guy, they're dragging him out the ring to do absolutely nothing except get kicked off the ring and go back inside when no one sees you. What's the point?
Yeah, and to drop like stupid like one or two lines maybe in a promo. Poor Carlito.
Maybe.
Um,
But, like,
but yeah, they come out, they disrupt the match. Stupid ass finish. Um, but this whole thing, and this was kind of what I was alluding to earlier. Waiting to talk about this match is that this is supposed to set up what is going to be a four-way match at WrestleMania. It's going to be Braun Breaker, Penta, Finn Balor, and Dominic Mysterio.
okay.
And I think this match, though, can help erupt and finally bring an end to the Judgment Day.
Hope everybody beats up Finn. Yay!
Yeah. Please get Finn by himself again. Let him be by himself again. Guy doesn't need a faction. I'm so bored with Finn.
Yeah, I'm just. But anyway, Carlito, the puppet.
Carlito, the puppet. Yeah. A guy that he's a really good wrestler when they actually have him wrestle.
He is talented, and I just don't like the way he's being used or not used because he's not doing anything except having big hair and sounding
He's
dumb.
eating apples and chilling.
It just, ugh, it's. The Judgment Day is done. Just, I hope this disbands it, but they should have done it before. Like,
Yeah, yeah. They should have disbanded it like right, just all together. Because that's the thing is there's no original members of Judgment Day in it anymore. Because they got rid of Rhea and Damien the same night.
yep.
Got rid of them the same night. So past that now you got Finn leading it. but leading who? Like
Yeah.
JD McDonough, damn, that's the thing. It looked like he almost broke his neck, but really he punctured his lung
Oh,
when he did that. When he did that moonsault, like he came really close to like hitting his neck, and it was like super close to the point that Michael Cole was like, I think we need medics out here. But yeah, he punctured his lung
oh, I didn't know it was
doing
that
that.
bad. It made my lung hurt.
Yeah. Um, and that's why he's been out. But he came on to Chris Van Fleet and said that he's almost back and ready to be cleared. But he even said Judgment Day is falling apart without him. And it's funny because it's like that's actually kind of true because JD was like the only one I really liked.
And you weren't even really you weren't even really in this group, bro. You came later. Now
Yeah.
you're best of everybody. That's how bad they are.
Yeah. It's like I guess because Dirty Dom, I think he can be fine on his own.
I think
I think he
that
can be,
his role in the group was done before Liv came in. Honestly,
yeah.
he got he got the pops he needed from it and stuff. I don't think that he was necessary component anymore. And now he's just like a background character, which is sad because he was getting this time last year he was getting such big pops and stuff. And that just tells me
Hmm.
Judgment Day is doing nothing for anybody and needs to be disbanded.
Yeah, they do, and hopefully this will set it all up to do that. I gave the match a 5, just because they couldn't do that much, but what they did, they did what they had to do in the amount of time that they had. Um, otherwise the finish was super stupid and kind of ruined, whatever they did in the match.
Yeah.
Um, otherwise it was a good match. You know,
Yeah, I mean, I'm not even giving. I didn't write it down any number. I would just Breaker one, yay. So that's what I thought.
yeah,
As long as it wasn't any
yeah.
from Judgment Day, because if it was them, then it'd be a 0. That's him.
Which that kind of leads up to like if this 4-way is gonna happen. Um, do you think there that's do you think there I think WrestleMania. Do you think Braun drops it in that 4-way match, and do you think that he drops it to Penta?
I think if he drops it to anyone, it should be Penta. I don't know. I don't know how it's gonna go. I don't follow the IC content, the championship that well to make.
That's my favorite one.
Oh,
Yeah, I've always enjoyed the Intercontinental Championship just because it is the workers' belt, and that's one of the reasons why I really like Gunther is because he brought that title back to the status that it should be at. That like, no, if you're an Intercontinental Champion, you better be slated to be a next World Champion. That's the proving belt. Like so many Hall of Famers got their start on that Intercontinental title.
that's very true.
Um,
It's very, very, very true.
and that's why I've always admired that one. I got to and when I went to WWE World, I got to see Scott Hall's
Mhm.
yellow Intercontinental title.
Mhm.
They had that on display.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Um, but yeah, so otherwise, that's about it. That wraps up the show.
Were you shocked that they didn't drag Drew McIntyre out?
Yeah, yeah. They didn't. You would think, especially given the fact that
His country.
the last time that he was there, he got fucked up by Damian
It's
Priest.
his country though, but I literally put where did they put Drew? Question mark.
Yeah,
So I was just wondering, in his country, especially
yeah. You would figure they would have shoot in a match for him, but I mean he's over on SmackDown, so
I guess they at least
yeah.
have a pass or something. We know he was already in
Yeah,
Europe.
yeah. which got only I don't even know how they're like running things fully, because I know they're also doing they're doing live shows in between, so I think they are running both shows independently of each other out there.
Craziness. Right, well.
Yeah. But yeah, that wraps up another episode of the Weed and Wrestling Podcast. Give us a like and share and subscribe. Help us out in any which way that you can.
Thanks, everybody. Bye.
Probably should start saying that more in the beginning of it, but we're just learning, folks.
We're just learning. Nice.
And thank you again so much.
Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.
All right, that was awesome. That was cool.